In this video, we are going to make corrections to your mini assessment 3 so you can better understand the concepts and get some points back. Let's get started. All right, let's read through question 1. In a shelter, there are 5 cats and 13 dogs. There are no other animals in the shelter. How does the ratio 5 to 18 describe the animals? Okay, so we have a ratio of 5 to 18. So we need to figure out, what does the 5 represent and what does the 18 represent? So first, we see very clearly in a shelter there are 5 cats. So the 5 represents the number of cats. And now I'm trying to figure out, what does the number 18 represent? Because I don't see that in the original description. It says 5 cats and 13 dogs. So, but what I do realize is that 5 cats and 13 dogs makes 18 total animals. Because that would be 5 cats plus 13 dogs. So, the ratio that describes 5 to 18 is the number of cats to the total number of animals, which would be option B. All right, let's move forward. All right, question 2. A lemonade mix requires 4 scoops of powder for every 5 cups of water. So I'm going to start by writing, sorry about that, my original rate. 4 scoops of powder to 5 cups of water. How many scoops of water, how many scoops of powder are needed to make a batch with 30 cups of water? So we are going from 5 water to 30 cups of water. So I need to say to myself, what did I do to go from 5 cups of water to 30 cups of water? That is correct. We multiplied by 6 because 5 times 6 is 30. So now whatever I do to the amount of water, I also have to do to the powder. So 4 cups of powder times 6 would give us 24. So my answer here would be 24. Because we multiplied the water by 6, so then we have to multiply the powder by 6. So it would be 24 cups. All right, let's keep moving. The ratio of students who play cricket to the number of students who play tennis is shown in the diagram below. Use the diagram to find the number of tennis players if there were 12 cricket players. Okay, so first thing we need to look at is our original rate. We have 4 cricket players to 3 tennis players. That is what it shows us in the diagram. But we want to know a rate of 12 cricket players. So we need to think, how did I go from 4 cricket players to 12 cricket players? That is correct. We multiplied by 3. So if we multiply the cricket players by 3, we also need to multiply the tennis players by 3. And 3 tennis players times 3 gives us 9 tennis players. So that would be our final answer. All right, let's keep going. It costs $20 for 4 cartons of orange juice. What is the price of 6 cartons? Okay, so let's write our original rate, $20 for 4 cartons. And we want to go to 6 cartons. Now, so I'm thinking that I can't go from 4 cartons directly to 6 cartons using multiplication or division. So I need to do something else. We are going to find the cost of just 1 carton first. So to go from 4 cartons to 1 carton, we're going to divide by 4. So $20 divided by 4 is $5 for 1 carton. Now we can use that information to go to 6 cartons. If it is $5 from 1 carton, we are going to multiply that by 6 to go to 6 cartons, which would be $30. So it is $30 for 6 cartons because it is $5 for 1 carton. Multiply that by 6 to go to 6 cartons. All right, let's keep going. A brownie recipe requires 2 eggs for every 3 cups of sugar. Fill in the table below to show the relationship between the eggs and the sugar. All right, let's look at each column here. To go from 2 eggs to 6 eggs, this column needs to be times 3. Because to go from 2 eggs to 6 eggs, we need to do times 3. So 3 cups of sugar times 3 is going to give us 9. Now let's look at the next column. To go from 3 cups of sugar to 12 cups of sugar, we need to multiply by 4. So 2 eggs times 4 gives us 8 eggs. All right, and now for our last spot, to go from 3 cups of sugar to 24, that is times 8. So 2 times 8 would give us 16 cups, 16 eggs. Because, again, to go from 3 cups of sugar to 8 to 24, you multiply by 8. 2 eggs times 8 gives us 16 eggs. So this is what your table should have looked like. All right, let's keep going. Amy solves 12 problems in 5 minutes. Based on this rate, what is the total number of minutes it would take to solve 60 problems? So we have 12 problems in 5 minutes. But we want to go to 60 problems, so we need to think, how did we do that? How many 12s make 60? And you guessed it, that is times 5. So let me actually write that over here. To go from 12 problems to 60 problems, we multiply by 5. So 5 minutes times 5, because remember, whatever we do to one, we do to the other, is 25 minutes. All right, let's keep going. You kick a soccer ball 24 times. You make 18 goals and you miss the rest. All right, so let's write down our information here. We make 18. Our total is 24. So how many does that mean we missed? That is correct. We would have missed 6 because 18 plus 6 gives us a total of 24. So now our question, what is the ratio of goals made, which is 18, to goals missed, which is 6? Enter in the space provided and in simplest form. So now we need to think about, what can I simplify 18 and 6 by? This is where that greatest common factor comes in. So think of the biggest number that you can divide 18 and 6 by. And you are correct, it would have been 6. So if I divide both terms by 6, it is 3 goals made to 1 goal missed. So that should have been a 3-to-1 ratio. On your quiz, I believe if you put 9 to 3, I also gave you that because you tried to simplify, it just wasn't all the way. All right, let's keep going. A recipe calls for 12 avocados and 10 mangoes. Fill in the double number line and label each line that is missing to show the amounts you can use and have the same recipe. Okay, so we start at 12 and 10, and first we need to work backwards. So think of a common factor between 12 and 10. What can I divide both of those numbers by? You guessed it, 2. So 12 divided by 2 would give us 6, and 10 divided by 2 would give us 5. So now notice the top number line is counting by 6s, the bottom number line is counting by 5s. So we have 6, 12, then this would be 18, and then the next number line would be 24. And now on the bottom, we're going to count by 5s. I'll just neaten that up a little bit. Okay. 5, 10, 15, and last but not least would be 20. All right, and that concludes our quiz corrections. I hope that you have learned from this and have answered questions correctly to get your points back. We will see you next time.